Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and we have a leaked image of the Puma MB.02 Lamelo Ball second signature shoe with Puma, right? So the MB1 was one of my favorite shoes, or it is one of my favorite shoes to ball in. It is an amazing performer. It just sucks how limited it is. There's like no colorways available, you know, right when like Puma releases a colorway of the MB1 on their site, it pretty much instantly sells out. You know, I don't know if it's because the demand is so high and people are just getting it right away, or if it's because they're just not giving us a lot of pairs. I don't know what it is. Like, they just released the Galaxy colorway, which looks awesome, and it's like you can't really get it. But the good thing is though, it's not going too much over retail on like StockX, which is a good thing. But yeah, it's going for 125 bucks, and this specific colorway, the MB1, did release in December of 2021. So not that long, it hasn't even been a year yet, right? So it's pretty crazy how we already have leaks of the MB2. But before we get into the MB2, there are a couple of leaks of the Puma RS Dreamer 2. Shout out to Tim Walsh official for these. So the RS Dreamer was a solid performer, but it was a pretty heavy shoe and the cushion wasn't very nice. So hopefully they do improve upon that, but the traction looks pretty damn different, and the overall silhouette though looks kind of similar, right? And also this looks like the Court Rider 2, or that's what Tim Walsh official said, right? The ones that say Dreamer on the tongue is a RS Dreamer 2, and then the ones that just say Puma is what I'm guessing is the Court Rider. The Court Rider was not that nice. I mean, the fit and everything was pretty good, but the traction was horrendous for me, so that's why I didn't like the shoe at all. So hopefully it redeems itself. I mean, Puma's been releasing some really great performers. I mean, the Puma Clyde All Pro was amazing. The Puma Clyde Hardwood also was amazing. And of course the MB1. So hopefully the Court Rider 2.0 redeems the Court Rider kind of like, I guess, their line, right? And also the RS Dreamer was a solid performer, and I feel like the RS Dreamer 2 might be good. And it just looks like a regular, you know, Puma shoe. Like, the overall design language is very similar to all their older models. And also Jason Tatum was seen practicing in this shoe. We don't know what it is. We have a picture of it. It's a really crappy potato quality picture, as per usual, right? And yeah, we don't know, like, what is he wearing? Is it the Air Jordan 37 or the Jason Tatum 1, right? So Jordan Brand, I believe last year or a couple of years ago, said that they had a Jason Tatum signature shoe in the works, right? So I'm guessing it's a JT1, right? There's no way this is a 37. I mean, if it was a 37, I'd be very, very disappointed. Yeah, I mean, the 36 is just such a great looking shoe. I mean, the 34, 35, and 36 all look great. And then the 37, ooh, not a great looking shoe. The upper looks kind of cheap. Just, it's a pretty crappy photo, but it looks cheap from what I'm seeing. And also, the heel looks like the outsole does come up to cage it, which I don't like all too much, you know? And it just doesn't look good. And I posted this on Instagram and a lot of you guys hated on it too. So I don't know, what is he wearing though? I mean, this is the only picture that we have, or this is the only picture that I could find. So what do you guys think? Tell us down in the comment section below. But now let's get it started with the MB2, right? So the MB1 also is a great looking shoe. I mean, the colorways that have come out, the Rick and Morty especially, one of my favorites of all time actually, and the silhouette is just awesome, right? The midsole cage here, where the 3 X's looks great. I love this embroidered design on the upper here in the ankle area, and just the overall silhouette looks great. And then the MB2, the overall silhouette is very, very similar, right? So the midsole line looks pretty much exactly the same, and also the silhouette of the mid top and all that looks very similar as well. And now starting off with the outsole, right? So a lot of you guys said the outsole looks like it's gonna be bad, but for me it looks like it's gonna be very good. You know, it's a very nice multi-directional pattern, and it looks very similar to the design here in the MB1, like here in the ankle area. Like, as you guys can see, like this like leafed like oval pattern, it looks very similar in like the tip of the toe, and it gets a little bit pointier once you get into the midfoot. And then in the midfoot and in the heel we got some line. And also we have a Puma logo in the heel. I like it so far. The pattern looks very aggressive and very multi-directional. I mean, the MB1 was awesome, right? It has great traction even with a translucent outsole. But one thing that I absolutely love about the MB1, which I always say, is the outsole curvature, right? So the outsole starts to curve up pretty much in the middle of, or a little bit further than the middle of the outsole, and it gives you that feeling of like the old school Kyries, like the Kyrie 2, Kyrie 3, and the Kyrie 4. So that helps to keep you on the balls of your feet, you know, like here on the medial side, and I really like that feeling. And also we have more rubber here on the medial side, so you have more grip when you're doing these types of movements. And I can't really tell with the MB2. I mean, it does look like rounded where the ball of your foot is, but I can't really tell if there's an outsole curvature. But we can definitely see that there is the outsole coming up on the medial side, so you get extra grip, so that it definitely is a good thing. Hopefully they kept the outsole curvature in the MB2. So as far as the cushioning setup goes, it looks like it is full length nitro foam, right? Pretty much the same exact cushioning setup as the MB1. It says nitro here on the outsole in the back of the heel. And one thing that I like about the MB2 over the MB1 is that it's not caged really at all. It's very much exposed here on the lateral side and also on the medial side. It doesn't look like there's any type of caging, but in the back of the heel there is a little bit of caging, right? So the outsole comes up a little bit, and also we can see this plastic external TPU heel counter. But here in the back of the heel, I guess it's not too bad, you know, it kind of tapers down a little bit, so it's more in like the very back of the heel, but on the sides it seems very exposed, so I'm not super mad at that. I like that design actually. And then looking at the lateral side in the forefoot, the outsole does come up to cage the nitro foam just a tiny bit, which of course is a good thing. It doesn't really matter all too much there in my opinion. I just like to have the heel a little bit more exposed, right? So the cushioning might be a little bit better than the MB1. We'll have to see on that though. And then moving on to the materials. So the materials look like a downgrade to me, right? So in the forefoot, it looks like a cheaper type of mesh material, more like a synthetic actually. And we can see a lot of fuse. And then in this specific colorway, in like it's more like an orange, like copper color for the fuse. That fuse material looks really cheap. So I'm not a huge fan of that. We got regular laces, and then as far as the tongue goes, it's made out of like an open mesh, it looks like. So that'll probably improve the ventilation a little bit. And then for the tongue, it looks pretty similar to the MB1. The padding in the tongue and the ankle area looks pretty damn similar to the MB1, which is a good thing. I like that about the MB1. Of course, if you want a very minimal feeling shoe, the MB1 is not the best option, but if you want a very cozy upper, then this was a great option, right? And it looks pretty much the same here in the MB2. And then on both the lateral and medial side of the shoe, we have a crazy amount of fuse, right? And I don't know, I honestly like the embroidered stitching here in the MB1 a lot better, right? That's just a nicer touch than like fuse, right? But as far as the aesthetics go, I don't know. I still feel like the MB1 looks a little bit better, but we do have two colorways of the MB1, and I'm not a huge fan right now. But like I said, when shoes come out and we see a leak of a shoe, especially with like not the best quality pictures, we tend to like hate on it a little bit, you know what I mean? So I'll wait for official images and also like on-foot pictures and probably some different colorways, right? But still right now, I feel like the MB1 looks a little bit better. One thing that's pretty much the same is the tag in the back. So in the MB2, it says Melo with the Puma logo in the back, and it's pretty much the exact same in the MB1. Also, another thing that's very similar is we have that, I believe Melo has this tattoo on his chest, right? It's like a one with wings and like a halo on top of it. We saw that here in the MB1 on the tongue, but in the MB2 it's on the external heel counter in the heel, and also we can see it on the tongue as well. So they kept it on the tongue but added it here in the heel. There also is a number 1 like at the beginning of the tongue, and then here in the MB1 it says not from here, so that is a little bit of a difference there. So as far as the MB2 goes, I'm pretty damn excited about it. I feel like it's gonna feel pretty damn similar to the MB1. Like I feel like they kept pretty much everything the same. I mean, although the fuse material looks a little bit cheaper, it'll probably be thin, especially in the forefoot, and I feel like it'll feel very similar to the MB1. And I also think it'll stay very cozy in the back of the shoe, you know, where the tongue is, and here in the ankle area. So the upper, I feel like it's gonna feel very similar. But one thing that I feel like will be a little bit better is the cushion. You know, it's using full-length nitro foam, but it seems to be a little bit less caged, which I like. The traction hopefully is just as good as the MB1, and I'm hoping that the MB2 has that outsole curvature. I really hope it still has that. But other than that, I mean, I feel like the weight is gonna be very similar as well. I mean, how much does the MB1 weigh? Let's check. If I remember correctly, it was like 13 ounces, right? 12 point something, 13.76 ounces. Yeah. So I don't think the MB2 is gonna be lighter. It doesn't look like it's lighter at all. Maybe it might be a little bit because it doesn't have this plastic like cage here, but they kind of moved it from here to like the back of the heel. So I feel like it'll be around 13 ounces, right? So that's my guess. It'll probably perform very similarly to the MB1 and feel very similar as well, which of course is not a bad thing. But the biggest thing is the aesthetics, right? What do you guys think of the aesthetics? I posted it on Instagram and there was a lot of different answers. There's a lot of you that liked it and there was a lot of you that absolutely hated it. So I feel like it'll be mixed, right? But anyways, that about concludes this video. Tell us what shoe you're excited for down in the comment section below. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.